In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a driver's side rear power window motor on your Ford Explorer located inside the rear door. The process for this is the same for the passenger side. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove these two screws right inside the door handle pull. Once you have those out, I'm going to remove this trim right here behind the door handle. We're going to use a small pick. Just going to go in behind here and just kind of pop this out. You work your way around. And set that aside. Using a trim tool, we want to go behind the door panel itself. Once we get that pulled apart, we're going to go ahead and pull the door panel straight out, releasing the plastic retainer clips. Once we have those clips released, we're going to go ahead and lift up on the door panel. Now you want to go ahead and remove this panel right here. You're going to lift up on the back and push it forward. This will disconnect. Pull the harness off of the door panel right here. This should allow us to go ahead and feed this through. And then go ahead and set the door panel aside. I want to go ahead and remove our speaker here. We're going to use a 7/32 socket and extension. We have a total of 4 screws here we're going to remove. Now we chose to remove the speaker with the sound bucket here. We're going to use our trim tool, pop this little harness retainer off. We're going to disconnect the harness connector here. Going to use a little pick, lift up on this little tab. I'm going to just push our little rubber grommet through the sound bucket here. And go ahead and set that speaker aside. Now we can go ahead and remove our water shield. You're going to start anywhere you want. Go ahead and start gently separating this here. There's going to be a mild adhesive holding this in place. You want to be careful. You want to try not to tear this or damage it. If you do, it's not critical. We can always repair it later on with some heavy-duty tape. Work this off. And then we're going to go ahead and pull our harness through with our switch panel. And go ahead and set that water shield aside. Our next step is to go ahead and raise the window up to a certain point. Right here, you can see on the window regulator base itself that holds the glass, there is a rivet holding the glass support here, and there's one to the right of it. So what we need to do is raise this up to the point where we can see both of them. We're going to access these rivets through these two holes in the door. And what we need to do is punch out the middle of these rivets, drill them out. Then at that point there, we're going to lift our glass up, support our glass, and then lower the regulator down and continue working from there. Now we're going to use a punch. I'm going to go to the very center of that rivet. I'm going to go ahead and punch that out. I'm going to come on over to the one to the left of it. I'm going to do the same. Now let's go ahead and drill out these rivets. So we got that rivet out. Let's go ahead and do the one to the right of it. We're now going to raise our glass to its full upright position. And you want to use either tape or your suction cups here to go ahead and support that glass in place. At this point here, we can go ahead and lower the regulator. It is now separated from the glass. Our next step is to disconnect the power window motor with this connector here. Now that we have that disconnected, we can push this little retainer pin through. Simply use your trim tool on the back side to go ahead and pop that through. Remove this lower bolt and this nut using your 7/16 socket or wrench. Remove the two 7/16 bolts right here. Using your punch, go ahead and knock out the center of this rivet. Do the same for this one. And this one here. Go ahead and drill these out. Now once you get those 3 rivets drilled out, that regulator will drop down to the bottom of the door. Using our 7/32 socket, we're going to remove this upper screw right here. I'm going to pull up our foam. On the bottom left, there's another 7/32 screw right here. And slide our foam back. Now what we want to do is take this handle and we're going to push it forward. Just give it a little bump tap like that. And on the back side, we want to go ahead and rotate the handle and then slide it forward. You're disconnecting the actuator rod right here from the handle. There's a little metal retaining clip here. Someone was in here before because this metal retaining clip should have been on the outside here, securing this rod to the handle. Basically push up on this here and slide this off. We're going to show you later on how to properly install this. So you can go ahead and let that rod relax there, reach inside. I want to go ahead and grab the window regulator with the motor. Go ahead and work this unit out. Using a 5/16 socket, we're going to loosen and remove these 3 screws. And pull up on that motor. So you got to install the motor. You want to make sure that the center pin here lines up with the bushing right there. Line that up. May have to twist that motor just a little bit to get those holes lined up with the studs. And then let's go ahead and snug those down. Now when tightening these down, once that screw bottoms out, you can go ahead and give it probably close to a half a full turn, maybe a little bit less. You want to make sure these are snug. Now you want to take the supplied connector here, line that up, simply press that in. You'll feel it and hear it snap into place, and you have your matching connector. Now go ahead and flip this unit over. I'm going to go ahead and add some grease to the inside of the slides here. And do that on both sides. And we're ready for installation. Let's go ahead and slide this unit in. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that track. I'm going to go ahead and bring that over. With the lower stud come through on the bottom. What we're going to do is we're just going to throw a nut onto that just to hold that. We can put the bolt in on the bottom. With that lined up, we can go ahead and get the two upper bolts installed. Now we can go ahead and get the upper bolts installed. Now we're just going to get these started. We're not going to tighten them down yet. Now we're going to grab the motor unit. I'm going to slide this up. Now I want to go ahead and slide this up into place. And you're going to see little tabs pop into the door. You're going to find our holes there. Going to install one of our rivets here. Good, and position that one in there. And then we can go ahead and install our last rivet right here. Tighten down our two upper bolts and the two lower. Now you want to go ahead and connect the window motor harness to the connector here on the door, and you should feel it and hear it snap into place. Now I want to go ahead and power up our regulator so that the hole here in the regulator lines up with these two holes horizontally. Now that we have this lined up, we can now release the tape or the suction cups on the glass, lower that down into place, and install our anchoring hardware. Be careful that glass does not drop down inside the door rapidly. And slowly work that down into place. I'm going to go ahead and install some blue Loctite on the threads of our bolt. Feed that through and then install the nut on the front side here. And do the same for the other side. Let's go ahead and snug down these bolts. With the glass anchor, go ahead and do a test run with the components. Take your door handle, turn it up, slide this onto the latch. You want to take your little clip right here. You want it so that the little tabs are facing down. Slip the rod through this hole here, flip it down, And as that clip comes down, you want to press that clip onto the metal rod and snap it into place. Put the door handle inside. And then we're going to slide that back. Like so. Let's go ahead and get these screws installed. Just snug that in. Do the same for the upper one here. Just snug it in. Good, and take your handle foam here. We're going to slide that over and into place. Go ahead and install our water shield. Need to pull our trim through and our wires. You want to try and stick this back in its original location. We're going to use a little bit of extra heavy tape to go ahead and secure our panel or our water shield here. Just in a couple spots. That way there, when we go to install our actual door panel, it doesn't collapse inside. I want to go ahead and install our speaker. Go ahead and feed the wire through. Pull that grommet through. If this happens to be the way that you disassembled it. And go ahead and pop that through. Once we get all 4 of these started by hand, we can come back and snug them all down. Now we can go ahead and install our panel here. Before we attach that, let's go ahead and push this button into the retainer here. Now there's going to be these little tabs that will be locking in. Let's go ahead and drop the cord down inside. Push that back. And let's go ahead and get the panel set up on top. Get our lock button pull through on the top side here. With that set in, we can now go ahead and push down on the perimeter. Now that we have our door panel set in the top, we can now go ahead and push in on the plastic buttons all the way around. Now that we're snapped in all the way around, let's go ahead and install the 2 screws in the handle. I'm going to snug that screw in, and then we'll go ahead and install the other one. Go ahead and take your trim, slide that over that handle. Go ahead and snap that in. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.